Hi everyone, Andy and Jenny Fitzgerald here, and today we're going to talk about why couples miss each other. And when I say why couples miss each other, I don't mean, hey, you've been gone for a few days and I really miss you. I mean, why do we miss each other emotionally? Why do we miss each other relationally? And what we talked about, and this is a two-part second part, yeah, video is oftentimes couples miss each other is because they don't know what to give their spouse, what their spouse really needs. And so we introduced the idea of love and respect, that what a wife needs is love and what a husband needs is respect. Speaking as a husband, what I want is my wife to understand me. I want her to appreciate who I am as a person and as a man.
And as a wife, I really need my husband to love me. I need to feel like he cares about me, he is protective of me, he's noticing me, all those things that make a woman feel loved.
So what the key way husbands and wives connect is through love and respect. And so tonight we're going to talk about the crazy cycle, because what ends up happening is that when the wife does not receive love or the husband does not receive respect, they start to pull back because it's scary and it hurts and we're angry. Mm-hmm. And I think of times, and it becomes a cycle. The
less he shows me love, the less I'm going to show him respect. And then you get further and further away and you just stay in this cycle. It's hard to get out of it because who's going to take the first step, make the first move toward giving the other person what they need, even though you're feeling hurt?
Yeah, we're hurt. And so the last thing we want to do is throw ourselves out there again to get hurt even more. Jenny, could you share of a time where, one of the many times, but one time we were in the crazy cycle?
Yes. So as I was thinking through an example, I thought about how we used to go, well, we still do, go visit my mom, who lives about 2 hours from here. And as you know, or as you might know, I am not a very punctual person, but I like to be at my mom's house on time because it's very important for me to spend time with her. So I remember we would be getting ready to go to my mom's house, and with 4 kids, she has a swimming pool. Sometimes we go hiking. Sometimes we'll go to see one of her shows, so we need different clothes or spending the night. So we'll be trying to get out of the house, and there's breakfast, there's getting Garrett ready and all the things he needs, there's packing up the car, snacks for the way, whatever we need. And many times we would end up getting out of the house late. And so I would start thinking, when I would see Andy doing something that was not helping me get the kids ready or helping us get out of the house, I would begin to feel angry. Like, why is he not helping me? Why am I doing all of this? And I would let my thoughts just go in a very unkind place. So it was always such a lovely trip to my mom's, and it's a long trip, especially if you hit traffic. And I would stare out the window. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to be nice to him. Maybe I'd talk to the kids, but mostly I would just look out my window, and there we go.
Yeah, it's an even longer trip when you're not talking to each other and you're only about a foot away from each other in the driver's and passenger seat. And I remember, and this is just one example of many, this trip to Grandma's house. But yeah, I would notice that Jenny isn't talking to me anymore. And I'm like, what's up with that? Like, why am I getting the silent treatment right now? And then I start thinking about all the different ways that I have tried to serve her and to love her, to bless her that week. Like helping with the kids or doing the laundry, cleaning the house, different things like that to tangibly show that I loved her. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting the silent treatment. So I said, forget that. If that's what I get for doing all that stuff, then I'm going to withhold love for her. So I made up my mind on that trip over there. If she's not going to talk to me, then fine, that's it. I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm not going to be sweet to you. I'll be cordial, but no, you're not getting anything from me.
And I'm laughing, but honestly, it's painful. It's painful, and then your head goes to all of these ugly places. At least mine would, and it takes a big move on somebody's part to go toward each other instead of believing the voices in your head, accusing, blaming. So
yeah, and it's a cycle because as I have now pulled back love from her, you know what she's going to do? She's going to pull back respect. And then when I feel disrespected all the more, I'm going to pull back, I'm going to love her even less. And it's just this crazy cycle that goes on. And you can be in that cycle for a day, you can be in that cycle for a week, you can be in that cycle for a month or years. Or for even for your entire marriage. And you just go round and round and round. And the pain and the hurt gets worse and worse and worse. Mm-hmm. And so the key is, how do you break out of that cycle? Because that's where couples often find ourselves. And so the way to break out of the crazy cycle is to get into a different cycle, and that's the connection cycle, what we call the connection cycle. It's much better than the crazy cycle. It makes 2-hour trips to grandma's a whole lot better. And the connection cycle is basically the opposite of the crazy cycle. That if we feel hurt or disrespected or unloved, we still give the thing that the other spouse needs. So even if I feel disrespected, you know what? I say to myself, I'm going to choose to love Jenny and love her in the way that she needs to be loved and she wants to be loved. And that's where those two questions that we talked about last week really come in, because now I know not just what I think communicates love to her, but what communicates love to Jenny, not to me. And so those two questions, I know she loves it when I'm very involved with the kids and don't leave her hanging there. And I know she loves it if I'm thinking about her needs, if I'm considering you. And so the connection cycle starts when I choose to love Jenny. And an amazing thing happens when I choose to love her.
Yep. And one way when I find myself in the crazy cycle, when I find myself having all of these unkind thoughts toward Andy and I am blaming him for things, it's so much easier. I'm not perfect at it, but it's so much easier now to stop. Just tell myself, stop the cycle. And I think about how can I honor Andy in this moment? And even if my heart isn't there yet, I can act on it. Like, for example, I could make him a great meal. When he walks in the door, I can meet him at the door and say, welcome home. How was your day? And the way I treat him, it opens a door for me to show kindness, to have goodwill toward him, and remember that he loves me. He does. Even though he has hurt me, I know he loves me. I believe that he loves me. I believe that he has my best in mind. And I'm going to choose to treat him with respect, regardless of how I'm feeling.
And it's so energizing when I see her doing that. And this is why it's so great when couples can talk about these things, because then you can start to notice that the other couple is really trying, and that makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. When I see Jenny intentionally giving me respect, maybe even when she's not feeling it, but she's doing it anyway, it makes me only want to love her all the more, because it's like she understands me as a man. She's trying to give me what I need in that sense. And so I just want to love and serve and bless her and take care of her all the more. Yeah. And that's why it's a cycle.
And it takes a little bit of time. Yeah, it doesn't happen right away. No. And the same thing, Andy's come in and he probably thought the house was going to be clean because maybe he thought he knew what my schedule was, but the house was not clean. Dishes in the sink, laundry not touched, stuff all over the ground I hadn't even had time to pick up. And I can tell when he is choosing to love me, he treats me very kindly. He'll start picking up, but there's no complaining. There's no edge to him. I know the edge, and it's not there. And I think, oh, he's so kind. He's loving me anyway. And it's a gift. It's a gift because he chooses love.
Yeah. Now, the key part in this is consistency. It can't be dependent on your spouse's reaction. Husbands, you've got to be committed to say, you know what? No matter how she's responding, I'm going to love her, and I'm just going to continue to love her and continue to love her, because that's what marriage is about, is you are faithful and you continue to love. And it's the same true with wives, is even if you don't sense your husband responding initially, continue to give respect, because that respect is going to open him up to wanting to love you more, because who can resist love and respect? Like when I feel respected, I just want to give more.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, there's a passage in the New Testament that says, a man who loves his wife loves himself. And the sense is that as you love your spouse, it's going to come back to you. You're loving yourself because they're just going to bless you and treat you well. Now you don't do it for that reason, but that's why it's a cycle. Marriage is really a cycle of love and respect. So hopefully this has been an encouragement to you, give you some direction in your marriage, and let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear some feedback, and we'll see you next time.